Greek Apocalypse of Daniel. The Greek Apocalypse of Daniel is one of the most significant variations of the apocalyptic corpus attributed to the prophet Daniel, whose influence permeates both Jewish and Christian traditions. This version, written in Greek, reflects a reinterpretation and expansion of the canonical book of Daniel. It focuses particularly on the final events and the resurrection of the dead, as well as the symbolic portrayal of empires and rulers that will be destroyed in the final judgment. The Greek Apocalypse of Daniel was likely composed during the Hellenistic period, after the conquests of Alexander the Great, when the Greek Empire ruled the Mediterranean. This was a period of great turmoil for Jewish communities, as they were subjected to the influence of foreign powers, first under the Ptolemies and later under the Seleucids. This context of domination and resistance is reflected in the themes of the text. At this time, many Jews faced the tension of living under a foreign regime that promoted customs and beliefs different from their Hebrew traditions. Apocalyptic literature, especially works related to the prophet Daniel, became a way to express the hope for divine intervention to overthrow foreign oppressors and restore God's kingdom. The use of Greek in this apocalypse reflects the cultural influence of Hellenism on Jewish communities. Greek was the lingua franca of the Mediterranean world, and many Jewish texts, including books of the Septuagint, the Greek translation of the Old Testament, were written in Greek to reach a broader audience. The Greek Apocalypse of Daniel falls into this tradition but also adapts to the apocalyptic expectations of Jews who hoped for divine intervention against Hellenistic oppression. The Greek Apocalypse of Daniel presents apocalyptic visions that expand upon those found in the canonical book of Daniel. As in the Syriac version, symbolic beasts and figures representing evil empires are described. However, the Greek version places a stronger emphasis on the resurrection of the dead and the events that follow the final judgment. One of the most important visions in this apocalypse is that of the heavenly thrones, where God sits as the supreme judge to judge the nations. The scene of the final judgment is particularly vivid in this version, with detailed descriptions of the wicked being eternally punished and the righteous being glorified in God's kingdom. The theme of the resurrection of the dead plays a central role in this apocalypse. Unlike many other apocalyptic works, where the resurrection is a promise for the righteous, in the Greek Apocalypse of Daniel both the righteous and the wicked are resurrected, but their fates are radically different. The righteous are brought to eternal life, while the wicked are cast into the lake of fire, an image later incorporated into Christian iconography of hell. As in other versions of the Apocalypse of Daniel, symbolic beasts and figures play a significant role in the narrative. These beasts represent the empires that dominate the world, each more terrible than the last, until they are ultimately destroyed by divine intervention. The symbols used in the Greek Apocalypse of Daniel include hybrid animals that represent the corrupt and oppressive nature of foreign empires. The downfall of these empires is accompanied by natural catastrophes, such as earthquakes and celestial signs, which underscore the idea that the end times will be marked by direct divine intervention in human history. The text offers a deeply dualistic view of the world, where evil may dominate temporarily but is destined to be defeated by God's justice. The use of Greek as the language of the apocalypse also reflects concerns about foreign domination, as the Greeks, under the Seleucids, imposed policies that challenged Jewish religious practices, leading to significant tensions between the Jews and their Hellenistic rulers. The apocalypse responds to these tensions by offering an eschatological vision where foreign empires will be destroyed and God's kingdom will prevail. A crucial feature of the Greek Apocalypse of Daniel is the messianic figure who appears at the end of times to defeat the evil empires and restore just order. This figure is described as someone sent by God to destroy the forces of evil and establish God's eternal kingdom. The image of the Messiah in this text resonates in both Judaism and Christianity, though the messianic figure is not as detailed as in other apocalypses. In the Hellenistic context, the Messiah is seen as a leader who will restore Israel's independence and defeat foreign enemies. In Christianity, This messianic figure was reinterpreted as Jesus Christ, who would come again to carry out the final judgment. In both cases, the Greek Apocalypse of Daniel provides an important basis for the development of messianic eschatology. The Greek Apocalypse of Daniel reflects a deeply eschatological theology, where the final events are marked by direct divine intervention. The resurrection of the dead is seen as the climax of human history, where the righteous will be rewarded and the wicked will be punished. This emphasis on resurrection and final judgment is characteristic of apocalyptic literature, and the Greek Apocalypse of Daniel adds a unique focus on the divine judge and the role of the Messiah. The use of symbols like beasts and hybrid animals to represent evil empires is a common theme in apocalyptic literature, but the Greek Apocalypse of Daniel develops this in more detail. These symbols allow the text to convey spiritual truths through visual images that would have been understood by an audience familiar with foreign oppression. The Greek Apocalypse of Daniel had a considerable influence on the eschatological thought of early Jewish and Christian communities. Although it was not accepted into the official canon, its content resonated deeply in later apocalyptic literature and Christian traditions concerning the final judgment and the resurrection of the dead. The text was also influential in the development of messianic thought in both Judaism and Christianity. The figure of the Messiah, who appears at the end of times to defeat the wicked and establish God's kingdom, is a central theme in both belief systems, and the Greek Apocalypse of Daniel provides an important foundation for these ideas. Thank you for watching our video. Subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Give it a like, comment your thoughts, and share this video with your friends and family.